Thank you. It's a great honour to be here today, and I'd like to thank the members for electing me as a fellow. As you can see, I spent a little bit of time at Melbourne University, didn't go too far afield, but just talking a little bit about my background. Originally, I'm a veterinary surgeon, but the truth be known, I'm actually pretty uncoordinated, and I was a pretty ordinary surgeon. And the major problem was that I couldn't tie knots very well. And knots are actually a very important skill when you're a surgeon. And so quite early in my veterinary career, I decided that this was not a good combination. I had too many sleepless nights worrying about whether those ligatures were going to fall off or not. And so I sent a few letters around to pharmaceutical companies in Melbourne, one of which was CSL. And so I joined CSL at quite an early stage in my career, back in 1989, and it opened up a whole new world. I did an MBA and I moved into commercial roles, but all through my career, both at CSL and then at Faulding and then in other roles, including the one I have now as Chief Executive of Starpharma, I've been lucky enough to be involved in the development of new products, so commercialising and developing technologies that have been discovered and developed in Australia. And it's been a fabulous journey, and hopefully I'll be able to share some of those skills and experiences, both not only the product development experience, but also financing, being the chief executive of a publicly listed company, being a female chief executive of a publicly listed company, one of the, 3%, I think, in the ASX 300. And hopefully bridge some of those gaps, I guess, between the translation of very good research into products which make it through to market. And I've been lucky enough to be involved in a number of those. In my spare time, I'm a director of the Melbourne Business School, have been for about the last 5 years. I also serve on the investment committee of the Carnegie Innovation Fund, which is an IAF fund, and also I'm on the Commonwealth Science Council, which is quite an interesting experience, and some of my past appointments are there listed at the bottom. But just to talk a little bit about what I do today, I'm Chief Executive of Starpharma, which is a publicly listed company in the ASX 300, and the company is founded on a common technology base. It actually was spun out of CSIRO, the technology originally. It's a kind of highly branched polymer called a dendrimer, and what we've been doing in the time that I've been there is completely changing the focus away from just the development of brand new drugs based on this technology into a range of areas. And we have a portfolio of products which we call the Vivagel portfolio, which incorporates the world's first antiviral condom. And I did have a box of them in the boot of my car, which I forgot to bring in, so I have to apologise for that. The condoms are marketed by Ansell. We've also licensed them to Okamoto, which is Japan's leading condom manufacturer, and most recently signed a deal to supply the Chinese government. So it's been a bit of a sensation, actually, that product. We got a huge amount of media attention when it was announced, and particularly we even got on the Jimmy Fallon show when it was shown that it was active in Zika virus. We also have a product called Vivagel, which has been approved in Europe, so we're one of the very few companies that's taken a product right through from discovery all the way through to registration in the pharmaceutical space. And as a small company with 40 employees, that's pretty tough to do, so we're very proud of having done that. But probably one of the most rewarding activities is the use of our technology in drug delivery, where we're using it to make cancer drugs less toxic and more efficacious. And we have a whole range of programs, both internally, where we're doing that for some products that we're developing ourselves, but also we have a major collaboration with AstraZeneca, which the first product under that deal will probably be worth about $450 million to the company. So it's a very exciting program. And it's been a fantastic ride to be involved in those negotiations. They were long and arduous, 140-page agreements, and a lot of very complex discussion about intellectual property and who owns what and who gets what returns. So a lot of very hard-fought arguments, but a very satisfying outcome. That technology has the ability to be applied to many, many, many drugs. And without a doubt, it's going to be worth far more than any of the other parts of our portfolio portfolio over time, but more importantly, it will create some really important improvements for the delivery and for the better performance of drugs for patients. So that's a very exciting application. We also apply our technology to agrochemicals. It's slightly similar concept where we're using our technology to improve the performance of existing agrochemical products, to reduce the amounts of solvent in them, and to make them more efficacious through better uptake into plants. So that's also a very exciting application of our technology. So very briefly, hopefully some of the experiences that I've had in being involved in many negotiations with many multinational companies over the years across all sorts of continents and all sorts of different cultures will be useful. In addition, my experience in the interaction or the business-to-business relationship, so our relationship with AstraZeneca, and I've been involved with GSK and many other, Rhone-Poulenc back in the days. As well as experience registering products. So the pharmaceutical industry is highly regulated, obviously, and it takes a bit of getting used to. And finally, experience in financing. In my time at Starpharma, I think I've raised about $140 million in the public markets, but also in smaller companies I was involved in earlier, around $30 million. So hopefully some of those experiences will be helpful, particularly in the translation of research into commercial outcomes. Thank you.